All right. I think the first tree is right over here.
Where?
Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. It's an exciting time of year here on the new homestead because finally we can get outside and we can kind of see what's going on. We can look at some of our trees. We can see what kind of resources we have. Everything's been frozen and covered in snow, and so it's been hard to take a look. But one thing we want to do is kind of assess the maple tree scenario. What do we have here? Can we make some syrup? Do we have enough trees? Are they old enough? What kind are they? That kind of thing. So we're going to take a look around at a few trees. I know there's a few around here that look to me like silver maples. So we're going to take a look at these and see if we can get some of these tapped right around the house. And then we'll kind of take a walk through the forest and see if we can find and identify any other maple trees that we could tap maybe down the road. So I have whittled most of my maple syrup supplies down to this tiny little bin. All those taps, I got rid of a lot of the tubing and taps that I used to have, and we're going to try some new things at the new homestead. We're going to do some different things. I'm not going to use buckets and things like I did in the past. I'm going to be using some bag systems as well as some metal buckets. So my mom actually gave me a bunch of these taps here that I'm going to use for the bag systems, which are really nice. So we'll use some of these taps. I also have some of the hook systems that work off of these kinds of taps right here that I have for my metal buckets. I've got a hammer. We've got a drill bit that is, I think this is the right size. I'll have to, we'll try a couple of these taps to seem like they're a little different. So we'll have to test out a few drill bits here, make sure we got the right size. And then I have these buckets, which I've had for many years. They've worked very well. I really like these metal buckets and lids. They are just nice and durable. They're going to last a long time. And they have these kind of spiles on them. So, and then I've got my couple bag holders in here that we'll use this year. I've never used these. These are another donation from my mom. And so we'll give these a try this year and see how well they work. I think I may end up going to a homemade type of bag holder. You can actually make these out of PVC pipe, 2-inch PVC pipe. And I may end up trying something like that down the road to go scale this up a little bit here at the new place. So the hardest thing, we have 5 acres that's just almost covered in trees here at this new house. But the hardest thing this time of year is to identify maple trees. They're easiest, of course, when they have leaves on them. But silver maples are fairly easy to identify. This here looks to be a pretty good candidate. This should be a silver maple, or could be anyway. You can see kind of the silvery smooth bark, and you get a lot of splits in the trunks and stuff like that, and that's pretty characteristic of a silver maple. And so I think I'm going to tap this one. Another thing you can do is tap the trees, and if nothing comes out, they're probably not maples. This here also looks like it is a silver maple. So we've got 2 here. This one's tappable. This one here, probably 2 taps could go on that one. And it looks like another one here by the driveway. This could be another silver maple. That would be a candidate we could use. There might be some smaller ones in here, but I don't know if those are, like this one here, we could tap. There's probably a silver maple right here.
We can tap this one.
Maybe not. A lot of small ones here. These are probably silver maples also. These are too young to tap, but maybe 5 more years, tap them. This one here, I don't know. That might be a maple. Mainly what's on this property is these, I believe these are white oaks. The most of the property is filled with these oak trees, so lots and lots of oak trees, which means we do have other resources here we could use that are not maple trees. Lots and lots of acorns around here, so there's lots of things we can do with acorns. They're good feed actually for pigs and other types of animals. So this would be great foraging ground for pigs through here. Also, you can, from what I understand, I've never tried this, but as far as I understand it, you can actually dry these and ground them up and make some kind of flour out of acorns. So
Acorn flour.
Acorn flour. So we may have to do some things with acorns, or we could just feed the squirrels acorns and then just eat the squirrels. All right, so we're coming up to the edge of the road here. It looks like there's some possible little silver maples up here, but I don't think I'll be tapping here.
Whoa.
The terrain gets kind of wild down to the road here, and
I've never seen
look at all that water running down the road. This one has a blue dot on it. I wonder why. I wonder if they want to cut these out We got a power line right here. And also they might fall into the road. So maybe, looks like some kind of a small game trail here. We've had some deer run through. Yeah, this one here, it looks like a maple. I'm looking around on the ground, I don't see any maple leaves. Oh, there's one. So there are some maple leaves laying in here. So I think this is another one. This one's a candidate to be tapped. So let's see if there's anything easy here along close to the house. So let's haul it so far. What would be ideal would be for us to find at least 2 or 3 good size, maples like this that are out in the sun. That would be ideal. So this is the south side of the house, and I actually know there's one maple tree right there, right in the back side of the house. So it's a smaller one, but definitely tappable. Hey, that looks like our gutter, a downspout. We might need that. Bring that up here. This is a cherry.
It's not gooey yet.
No, it's not warm enough yet. But that stuff is, I don't know what you could use this for. It's sticky.
Yeah.
There's another maple. So there are lots of maples in here. They're just not very big. This might be a maple here. We've identified at least, I would say, 10 tappable maple trees around here. They're not as big or anything like that as the old property, and we certainly don't have as many of them here, but we can definitely do a smaller scale maple syrup operation. And so this year we're just going to tap just going to put 4 buckets out, just small scale. We're going to probably be boiling mostly inside. And so you definitely can, you don't need to have a big evaporator and all that kind of stuff. So we'll play around a little bit this year, and we'll get some maple syrup made from the trees here and see how everything turns out. But one of the things that we've identified here is that maple trees, they're not our biggest resource. So although we can do some maple syrup every year, we'll do it on a smaller scale. And what we're going to do this year is focus on honeybees as their source of kind of sugar. So we're going to get back into bees. We've done this before, but we'll get some new hives. We're going to get new bees this year. In fact, I'm going to be ordering them here in the next probably week. And we're going to set up a bee operation. And so each year we'll like to add to that. And so that's the plan here, is probably to do more bees and less maple syrup. So we'll be looking forward to that here in the next couple months. So let's get these trees tapped that I have found that are close to the house, and see how things go. This one's running pretty good. Sun's shining right on it here. The other ones are shaded quite a bit on the north side of the house there. But this one's running real good. So I'm a little bit new to these bags. I think I've got it in here correctly. It almost seems that it should. These might not be the right taps for these holders, I don't know. That seems to be catching it. Well, the snow fort turned into a dirt fort. It was cool for a day. So we have a small tree here, 1 tap. A little bit bigger tree down kind of the bottom of the driveway, 1 tap. Bucket here, smaller tree, 1 tap. And then another one up here. At the edge of the field, 1 tap. We end up getting a lot of cottonwoods that grow in here. And sometimes the cottonwoods, at certain stages, the bark can look very much like a silver maple. So sometimes it's hard to tell until we get leaves. I wish I was trying. We rushed to move into this house last year in November. We were trying to get in October before all the leaves fell off, so that we could come in here. And what I normally do is I go through and identify every maple tree, and I just put a small spray paint dot on the bottom base of the tree, green, orange, red, something, you know, just at the bottom of every maple tree, so that when I come through in the winter and the springtime, it's easier to just find those trees and get ready to tap them. So plus, once I get to know the property, I'll know where the trees are and what grows where and everything. But for right now, it's a little bit hard. So we got 4 taps in the trees, and we're gonna get we'll get a little bit of syrup this year. We'll test it out, see how the trees do this year, and at least get something. So I'm going to go through kind of setting up a homestead series, and this will kind of be part of that. But one of the first things you got to do when you're getting out to a new piece of property, and I've said this at our old home as well and at the suburban homestead before the farm, you've got to spend an entire year on the property before you really know what all your advantages are, what your disadvantages are, what resources you have, and how to change your direction or maybe adjust the direction of your homestead to meet, you know, the needs of your family, but also to utilize the resources and the terrain and all those kinds of things that you have at your property. And so this will be, we've only been here for 4 months, 4 or 5, going on 5 months. And so we haven't gone through even all the seasons here yet. We've never been here in the spring, we've never been here in the summer, and we've really never been here in the fall. And so there'll be a lot to learn, there'll be a lot to figure out, there'll be a lot to adjust and things like that. And one of those things, you know, maple syrup. We're not going to do the same scale of maple syrup here that we did at our old property. Now, I've got friends with property in neighboring areas. I could go out and do a remote operation and haul sat back here and all that kind of stuff, but that's not really what we're going for. We're not trying to start a maple syrup empire. I'm trying to meet the needs of our family and also provide a little extra income on the side. And so I think our best way to do that here on this homestead is going to be through honeybees, as far as a sugar source anyway. We talk about sugar sources. Generally the 2 most popular are going to be maple trees for syrup, and then honeybees. Now honeybees you can do in all kinds of different climates, whereas maple syrup is a little bit more defined to the north and northeast or even northwest regions of the United States. So the goal for us here on this homestead will be to supply our own immediate needs for maple syrup. We use maple syrup for cooking and for coffee and for, obviously, you know, breakfast things and stuff like that. So hopefully we can, by next year, have enough of a maple syrup operation to supply us with what we need, and then also adding honey into that. And maybe we can get a bigger honey operation going here where we can sell some extra and recoup some costs and then supply our needs. And that's kind of the whole point of homesteading. We're not trying to start a big commercial operation here. We never were, even with the old place. What we want to do is supplement our needs, provide ourselves with healthy food, and not have to go to the grocery store and buy those things. So supplying our own needs and getting stuff that we can store and preserve throughout the year. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. We've got lots to learn here on this property. You guys will be learning along with us. We've got lots of improvements to do on the home and on the outside of the home here. We've got lots of things to build, lots of things coming up, new chicken coops, and how we're going to utilize the forest to kind of integrate our animals and other things. And so we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. And I'm so excited to have some decent weather coming our way. These 40-degree days are amazing versus the 10-degree days we've had. And hopefully you guys are as excited as I am about this spring gardening and all kinds of things. We're going to be growing fruit trees, and I just can't wait to get get outside and get some things planted. And so, of course, I want to have you guys tag along for all those things. If you're new here to the SSL Family Dad channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell next to it so you get notified when we post new content. We'd love to have you tag along for all that good stuff. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video. Throw your comments down below and add to the discussion. We'd love to hear from you guys. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.